Hi guys, welcome to another session of Honest Talk About Women, where you'll learn tips, tricks and strategies on how to navigate the minefields of dating and relationships. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel and also comment in the comment section. It all helps with the YouTube algorithm. Okay, let's get into it. This one is slightly comical but very realistic. I've got a guy in my soccer team who had been living apart for a long period of time, for about 20 years, and he decided to invite a woman in to share his house with him. And quite a wealthy sort of chap, but he's a very down-to-earth, basic sort of guy. And he, after 5 years, he decided to call it quits and tell his lady to move on. And they came to an amicable sort of settlement, financial settlement. Didn't cost him a shirt. He had it all tied up at the start. So I asked him what was the major breaking point, and he said it was the kitchen rules. He just couldn't feel comfortable in his kitchen anymore without complying to a long list of kitchen rules. And some of this I can relate to, and some of it I've heard from other guys too. So let's get into it to see what the kitchen rules were. So he was constantly criticised for not washing the dishes properly. So he's a little bit like me, he does things quickly in the kitchen and just whacks things through. Another one is the cutting boards. There were different coloured cutting boards: red for raw meat, blue for raw fish, green for vegetables, and so forth and so forth. And he could always got confused as to what cutting board he should be using. And he used to have his girlfriend at the time watch him very closely when he was preparing a meal. Another one was the shelf. The shelves in the fridge. What shelves have what products on them? Obviously, the ready-to-eat foods on the top shelf, the raw meat and poultry on the bottom shelf, and the dairy products in the middle shelf. And he constantly forgot this rule from his girlfriend that told him that he must follow the correct shelving of the groceries in the fridge. Another one was recycling. So in New Zealand, we have plastic recycling and we have food scrap recycling, or general rubbish. And with the plastic recycling, there's certain products that are recyclable and certain products that are not recyclable. And on the bottom of each product has numbers to ascertain whether it's recyclable or not. And also very thin films of plastic or very thin films of plastic packaging are not recyclable, so they go into the general waste bin. So it can be quite time consuming sorting through all the recycling, and he did his best, but obviously he didn't measure up too well, because his girlfriend at the time used to empty the recycling stuff on the floor and tell him that this is not recyclable and this is recyclable. How many times do I have to tell you? So quite amusing. And then putting the groceries away. He went shopping, grocery shopping, brought home the groceries, and he didn't put the items away properly in the pantry, according to his girlfriend at the time. And this is his words, and I can totally relate to this. And he didn't put the chocolate cookies in the chocolate cookie container, the shortbread in the shortbread container. He just sort of dumped them all together or put them all in quite quickly. So totally relate to this, quite amusing. Another one, he had the boys over for a barbecue, and his girlfriend wasn't home at the time. She came in later, and he was going quite quickly with the steaks on the barbecue and the bread rolls and the salad and things like that. And he didn't cut the bread rolls open. He just told his guys just to grab a bread roll, open it up, and put a bit of steak in between and some salad, and you're away. And normal thing that guys do, but his wife, his girlfriend came in and insisted that he get a bread knife and cut those bread rolls properly for the guys, and it really embarrassed him. So to me, very amusing. And the coffee cups. No, he was always cleaning the coffee cups in the sink, but she wouldn't reciprocate. She always left his lying in the sink, and that's one of the first simple signs that things aren't well, where you're covering for your girlfriend and she's not reciprocating back. So that's just a tiny little thing like that really annoyed him. And then pots for cooking. She wanted certain pots to be used with certain things. and she went out and got more pots, and it became so confusing as to what pot to use for what item. And he had his favourite frying pan for his bacon, but she insisted that it should be done in the cast iron fry pan for a better result. All these sort of rules that pop in. Another one was dishes, how to be stacked in the dishwasher. So the knives and forks have to be facing up, not facing down. And certain racks have certain items in the dishwasher. And this was all explained to him in detail. And it was just a nightmare. He was saying to operate in this kitchen, there's just so many different rules to follow, and can totally relate to it. Also, washing the large items that can't go into the dishwasher, like the pots and pans. The water has to be hot, not lukewarm. And there has to be a certain amount of dishwashing liquid put with the hot water to sanitize and scrub the pots and pans. So again, this was turning into an absolute nightmare. A huge amount of kitchen rules, huge amount. And I can relate to some of these. And I've also heard from other guys saying about the bizarre, not so much bizarre, but the huge list of rules to follow in your kitchen. So after 5 years of living with this lady, the guy sat down and had a fireside chat with her and said that we need to part company. And she was devastated. She didn't understand what was wrong, but he said it's over, and we can go through the legal system, or we can work at an amicable sort of deal. And he worked at an amicable sort of deal, and they split up, and she got paid out. And he didn't lose his shirt. He had a pretty strong prenup as before they started out living together. But that's the sort of concern you have, guys, when you invite someone into your frame, into your house. They should come into your frame and work in with your routine, your style. But to have a whole list of rules put into the kitchen, and this is just one part of the house, he was just not used to it, and he ended up not being comfortable working in his kitchen in case he put a step wrong, in case he didn't follow one of those rules. And some people, it may be just common sense what to do, but this guy was a bachelor for most of his life, and got a woman come and live with him, and it turned out to be a complete disaster. And I was very surprised it lasted as long as it did, 5 years. But those were the rules that she implemented for him in the kitchen, and they can become very complicated. And she was always watching like a hawk in the kitchen that he didn't break any of those rules. So not a good setting, not a good environment. He did the right decision, moved on, and he basically learnt his lesson about people coming into your frame. If they come into your frame, they're going to work with you within your frame, and not the other way around, especially when it's your house. Okay, well, that's it for today, guys. I hope you got sunk out of it. Don't forget to hit Alpha Dating. It can be in your inbox in minutes from Amazon Kindle. Very reasonable buy, outlines all the green and red flags. Okay, until next time, take care.